piece that I submitted to the people at Hampton was a small maquette of a hand holding a bird, and which I titled Nurture, which is to do with sort of the environment and just people in general, just sort of caring for those around them and the environment. So hopefully people will look at it and get a sort of a message or think a bit further about how they approach things during their day-to-day life. I sort of make the sculpture, to have a longevity. Through, all the art that I've produced so far, I always sort of get really positive feedback that, people do love living with the piece and it actually grows on them. And so, I've been practicing art for 30 years and it's, that's what you do. You make pieces that are sort of timeless if you can. Or that's your objective anyway. The idea is sort of like a work in progress in a way. It sort of follows on through my work practice, because I use the hand as a sign of humanity. And I've been working up in the Aboriginal communities, taking influence off their sort of totems, and I figured out that in general, my totem would probably be a bird, so I've started using the bird as a totem a lot, so it was sort of a natural fit for me in a way. A lot of my pieces have got different meanings, so each individual will have probably their own take on the piece and could easily then develop more takes and see more things happening in it. So I think it's got a sort of certain sense of serenity to it, and it's a goodwill piece. It's got positive, clear sort of messages in it that I think are close to people's hearts. I've got a lot of respect for Hampton just because not only in commissioning the piece, I've actually seen the piece right through and have enjoyed the process and they're interested in developing it further. So they've actually created a sort of relationship with the artist, which is very rare these days. I think art's becoming probably more important just because of the instantaneous of our world, and people really do need time to sit down and just take the time to look at things rather than getting sort of instant gratification. And it opens up different windows and different worlds for people, and it gives people the opportunity to actually think for themselves and develop their own thoughts rather than being fed thoughts.